Alright, what's up everyone? So today we got old patches in the garage and it's about time for us to start working on this thing. This isn't going to be a how-to video, but this is just going to be us work on it. We'll probably break it down to a few parts so the videos aren't too long. But here's old girl back in the garage, and our plans for it is we got our 4-inch lift that we're going to put on. So we got to obviously break all this loose, which hopefully isn't too bad, but you never know what's going to happen with this girl. She's definitely rusty. We have to remove our light bar. We'll probably have to put it up there or something. And this is where our winch is going to be mounted. And then we're going to have to actually probably get some square stock and build a little hoop right here, just to kind of protect the winch from any, damage from like trees or anything like that. Just to keep our winch good. But other than that, it's lift, winch, and then maybe just trying to put on like a little extra support. And then the other thing too is I was hoping it wasn't going to leak, but it started leaking again. But our fuel hose is leaking again, so it is what it is. It is time to replace that, and I've never replaced a fuel filter on this thing, which is back there. So it's just time, do the work, and when we got that done, or when we're getting that done, our fuel, not our strap, but our thing that holds the fuel tank back here has also been rusting away. So we're going to put a piece of sheet metal on there and weld that in to kind of re-brace our tank and all that. So that'll be actually a positive thing to do. But other than that, the girl will be should be good to go once we get that stuff done. And depending on how well the job goes, we've kind of wanted to put those like speakers you see like side-by-sides where they clamp onto the bar. We'll see how far we get and if we end up investing that in the Jeep. But it's kind of one of the things I've been wanting to do. And then our tire setup, which I actually had to measure the trailer to make sure we weren't going to be too wide to fit on. So right now we have 31s on here, and those are 10.5s. And those wheels are offset out, I believe. But what we're going to be going to is our wheels here. It's kind of a mess. From our CJ, which are 33 12.5s. So because those are from CJ, the bolt pattern is different, so we have to run adapters to change the lug pattern. So not only are we putting bigger wheels on, but we're going to have these adapters, which are automatically, they have to be spaced out. It's going to make it wider in general. So she's probably going to have quite a healthy stance on her for sure. So it'll be kind of interesting. If we don't like it, then we'll just throw these wheels back on, and it's going to be like an $80, loss on wheel adapters, which isn't a big deal. It'll be worth, trying it out and seeing if we like it. But this is our way to put more aggressive tires on old patches here while not, we're investing $80 is what we're doing. So as much as we use this thing, that'll be just fine for this trip. So our biggest things is like, we're not going to, our sway bars aren't going to get reused. Those are just going to get taken off, and yeah, we're not going to use those. We got to break all these bolts loose. Our shock mount, which looks fantastic, we got to get that broken loose. And I'm going to start PV blasting everything for sure, but we're going to start with the front end first. That way, so when we move to the back end, we're going to be doing the fuel tank and all that stuff too. So do the front first, which hopefully goes decent. And then our other thing too is because when you lift the vehicle so high, we're doing 4-inch, you put your drive shafts at a certain angle. I'll have to do some research. I know they give us things, or adapters. The problem with that is that our trans holder is welded to the frame because the bolts gave a long time ago. So we'll either have to, we'll run the angle that it's at, but sometimes you have an issue with as far as it, actually bottoming out on the transpan. Or I keep on saying transpan, it's the trans plate, the trans holder. I don't think running that angle would be horrible because it's just an off-road vehicle, so we're not doing anything, we're not running at highway a lot, and and all that, and it's just 4-inch. It could probably take it. So we'll see how we're doing on time, how everything's going. But what we'd have to do is weld that, bust those welds loose, bring it down, and then we'll have to probably, because their pieces I would assume aren't metal, or if they are, they're probably aluminum. They're not going to give us blocks of steel. So we would have to put some square stock in there, maybe some 1-inch or 2-inch to space everything down. And then also when we space everything down, now we're moving everything. So that would affect how my shifter is and everything. So we're gonna see what we have and we don't have to do to get this job done and to get us out in the trails. So let's get cracking at this thing, and we'll see what breaks loose. Alright, so this is what I love about this Jeep, is that out of all the projects we've been doing this year, on our newer stuff, it's given us hell the whole way. The old patches here, I mean, everything's breaking loose good. We got our front shackles undone, we got our sway bars undone, we got the shocks out, which we actually had to use the Sawzall to cut the bolt off, but that's pretty normal. Here we go, right here. So you can see, I mean, small threads like that, there is no chance of that thing coming off anyways. And you couldn't get an impact or anything on it. It was pretty tight quarters. So got that off. We will have to probably disconnect our brake lines. I'll see if they gave us extensions or not, or what their game plan with that is. If they didn't give us extensions and they're saying it's going to work, then we won't break them loose. But if we do have extensions, then we're going to have to mess with brake lines, which that'll be another battle for us to have to deal with, because that's probably all rusted up. Our U-bolts will probably just end up cutting. Maybe we'll put a impact on it and see if they break loose, but usually chances are you're better off just cutting them. Our bolt back there. So we got the U-bolts, bolts back there, and this thing should start coming down. But not too shabby so far. Definitely good. But it's about lunchtime for us, so we're gonna take a little break, get some lunch, and we'll probably just come back at this thing tomorrow, and hopefully get this thing dropped down and start mocking up our new front end. So, all right. Alright everyone, so we got everything pretty much broken loose here for the most part. We're able to get our brake lines detached here. Definitely weren't going to break that bolt loose, so we just kind of twisted it till the tab broke. That way, so when you actually lower us down with the new springs, it extends out, and then we'll just kind of remount this to where it's good. Only thing left is those bolts back there and the pitman arm, and that's all done and coming out. So we got our fresh parts over here, which these actually ended up being steel, but we're going to see what our angle is on our drive shaft before we go actually replacing it. Got our new shocks, and the leaf springs are over there. So she should be pretty good. And we're not hooking up the sway bars or the track bar. It is not needed for these vehicles with leaf springs, so we're not going to run them. Brother-in-law says don't run them, so we're not going to run them. So it should be good. So yeah, that's what we got going on, but we're going to wrap this video up, and hopefully next time, our next video, we got the whole front end done and we'll be working on the back end. So I appreciate y'all. We'll see you later.